Hi guys, thank you so much for being here. Wow, I thought that last night's episode was so good, and hopefully you can see me because it seems like that we are in black when I look at my computer. But I hope that you see me. If you see me, say that you see me because I'm not sure. Um, First of all, I just want to mention another show quickly just because I know some of you guys watch. I just wanted to say I have not watched Quantico. Apparently, something big happened on last night's episode, so please do not spoil it because I'm interested in it now. I mean, it actually was super, super boring for the second half of this first season, but I am going to watch. I still am watching. I just stop doing the videos. Okay, awesome. You guys can see me. So anyway, I'm probably going to do that tonight or tomorrow, and I'll tweet what I think about the show. But anyway, as far as this show, I'm still loving the family so much, and I thought last night's episode was really good. I really liked the way that they told it. I felt like it was quite a bit different than the other episodes just because I loved seeing Adam and Ben and seeing them grow up together in that terrible situation. That made me hate Doug so much more. And I also loved how they totally backtracked and took us back to the day that was in the first episode where Adam returns. And I love to see that from a different point of view. As Vanessa says, every episode of The Family has been great, and I agree. Although I think the last two episodes have been even better than the rest of the episodes, but I haven't been upset or disappointed in any of the episodes. There are some questions that I have that I think we definitely need to talk about tonight, but I just want to say hey to the people who have already started chatting. Hi, Marge. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Mark. I know Samar was here earlier, and if you are here and you want to say hey, that would be awesome, and I will give you a shout out. Thank you guys so much for being here once again, and I'm hoping more people jump on the bandwagon of this show. I did hear that the ratings were up. That was one of their highest rated episodes last night, so that makes me happy because I always worry about a new show like this because there's always the chance that it may not get renewed and we would never have answers. But I do follow most of the cast and the writers on Twitter, and that's really helpful to me because I do learn a lot of different things from doing that that you don't see on the show. And apparently there's going to be a huge cliffhanger at the end of the season. So I don't know what that's going to be, but it's supposed to be a big, huge question they're going to leave us with, and that makes me really excited. Hi, Terrence. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Christopher. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to read some of your comments now. Marge said that this episode put her out of her comfort zone. The first part with the kids was insane. It was hard to watch. I thought that the parts with Ben and Adam were incredibly sad, very hard to watch. I was concerned they may go into like the sexual abuse and show that, and I'm really glad that wasn't shown. I think where it's a network show, they don't need to delve into that. Where if it had been like on HBO or something, they might have gone there, but I was glad. The scene where Ben escaped was phenomenal, and Mark is saying he was completely freaking out when Ben was trying to escape from Doug, even though I knew he would get out. For some reason, I was still panicking. I was too, because literally it was very much a struggle for him to get out, and I really don't know, based on the food that Doug was giving him, plus he wasn't really eating, how he even had the energy to fight him off and to climb his way to freedom and all of that. Hi, Boho. Thank you so much for being here. And if you want to be called by a different name, then we can do that too. Now, Terrence is asking a question that I had a lot of hope for, but someone tweeted me some sad news. Terrence is asking, since we didn't see Adam die, is it possible that he could still be alive? I definitely thought after watching last night's episode that he was probably still alive. I was very hopeful because I do really want him to be alive. But someone tweeted me this morning that Jenna Bans, who is the creator of the show, confirmed in an interview that he's actually dead. So that really bothers me because I was really hoping that he would be alive. I'm not really sure why he died. I don't know if he quit eating. He may have just gotten sick, and obviously no one was able to give him any medication. And of course, Doug wasn't going to take him to the hospital because he was a kidnapped child. So I just feel terrible. And, you know, I disliked Doug so much. But after last night, I seriously have hate for him because I just don't know how any human being can do that to another human being who is doing that to two people. He may have done it to others, and we know he's looking for a new victim now. So that really, 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 really bothered me. A couple of things I want to talk about. One, tonight I would love to talk about Ben. Now, I feel terrible for him. I know for sure that he went through all those experiences he was abused and wasn't fed and treated terribly. But I'm very confused about what's going on with him because I always wondered why he didn't go searching for his family when he escaped. Last night, Willa asked him that, and he said that he didn't have anywhere to go or no one to go to. So we don't understand why. I find that very strange, and I do definitely sympathize with Ben, but something about him makes me wonder if I should. I mean, I know I should, but there's just something missing. I feel like some other piece of this puzzle with Ben that we don't have, and I don't know what that is. What do you guys think about that? Now, the end scene where he accepted the money and had it hidden in the motel room, I'm a little confused by why he accepted the $10,000, considering they're accepting him into his family. I don't know. Maybe he thinks it's going to go wrong and then he's going to be on his own and he needs money to survive. I just don't get it. I mean, I really don't understand why he wouldn't come clean and be like, tell the police, look, I know all this stuff about Adam. I know he's dead. I know about Doug. Let's help. We need to find him. I don't know why he's not being honest. It also creeped me out when he was insistent on pretending to be Adam when Willow was like in Adam's room being like, look, this is not going to work. And he was like, I am Adam, and it was just a little overboard for me. And I don't get it. Of course, he may have some mental issues because anyone who has been kept underground for years and years and years doesn't probably think clearly anymore when they're kept away from society for that long. So Brittany thinks that Ben doesn't have a family because Doug was his family. No idea why he would keep his child in there, but I think by the way he was acting, it makes sense. Now, Brittany has told me from probably day one that she thinks that Doug is actually Ben's real father. Now, that makes no sense to a lot of you. Whenever I've talked about that some or tweeted it out, people kind of thought I was crazy. But I definitely see Brittany's point here because I don't understand, unless he was stolen from an orphanage or, some weird situation, or maybe his family gave him to Doug to take care of because they couldn't. I don't know. I just don't understand what that deal is. And Christopher thinks that Ben was taken from his own family very young, but still, I just feel like I would want to go find my family. Doesn't mean that we're all going to get along and everything's going to be normal, but at least to let them know, the son that was taken from you as a baby is alive. I just don't understand why he wouldn't go find any family, even if he doesn't know them, remember them, why he doesn't have an interest to make them feel better. I don't know. Brittany thinks that Doug may have killed Adam. Agree with you there, because he knew that Adam would have to get seen and seen by a doctor, and he couldn't do that. And if he stayed with Ben, then he would have gotten Ben, who possibly is his own child, sick. Yeah, I could definitely see, we may see that in an episode where we see what actually happened when Adam was taken out of the underground area. Yes, so we learned that but Ben was not eating because he wanted to be as skinny as possible to get out of the handcuffs, which very much disturbs me just to talk about that. I think it's OG. Hi, thank you so much for being here. Mark is also in agreement, thinking that Ben is Doug's son too. As random as it is, I think he thinks the woman in the bakery was Doug's wife. Otherwise, she was a pointless character. I think we got, as much as the shows are sometimes different on ABC, a lot of the times they're the same in the fact that, for one, they usually don't say something's going to happen on an ABC, mystery show unless it will. And everything pretty much happens for a reason. They don't throw out random characters or mention random things or give out clues and then forget them, or they have no purpose. So what was the point of Bakery Woman? She had a huge scene, a huge importance in last week's episode, and it seemed completely useless. However, probably isn't. Now, I don't know if she is his mom. Maybe she's his relative. I don't know. Don't know what her deal is. She seemed maybe a little young. I'm not really sure how old she was supposed to be his mom. But then again, maybe not. I mean, I'm just comparing her to Claire, who just seems older. But I think that was because Adam was like their youngest child. Brittany loves Ben, feels so bad for him, but I have no idea what he's doing. I agree. I just feel like there's some kind of secret with Ben. And what is up with the key? That wasn't mentioned last night, but I saw some people tweeting at the show writers and producers asking, are we going to find out about the key? They pretty much said, yeah, that we would. So I'm just wondering what your thoughts are about that key that he keeps. Vanessa thinks that Doug is Ben's stepfather. I just definitely think there is a bigger connection with Doug and Ben rather than he was a random person who was kidnapped. I still believe that Adam was kidnapped on purpose, not just because there was an opportune time to take a young boy, but I think he actually picked him as his victim, and I do think it could have some political ties. Marge thinks that Bakery Woman was random. She was the reason why Hank then decided to become a eunuch, and that was her part in the show, which could totally be the answer to that too. Brittany says in the next episode, Hank, his relevance is supposed to become clear. So he has more to do with the kidnapping or something than we think. This is something I've been saying for a while now. There's way more to Hank than just someone who was falsely accused of kidnapping. Because first of all, Andrew McCarthy is a pretty big name for the show, so they're not just going to have him in a few episodes and then he disappears because he's not a guest star. Secondly, he has a huge role in every single episode, so there's something bigger there. I tweeted out several days ago that I definitely am interested to find out what his relevance is. It has to be something big, and Jenna Bans, the show creator, liked it, so I read into that thinking that yes, that is true because, hey, that's her show. So the fact that she liked that made me think that I'm on the right train of thought here, and so are you guys. Marge says it's weird, but Hank, for her, is the most interesting character in the show. I think he is really interesting. He tried to kill himself last night. He definitely is a person who struggles with a lot of personal demons. But we also have to think back about him having Adam's mittens in his house, in his attic, hidden. So we know there's something more. I'm going to say he didn't kidnap him, but maybe he was working with Doug back in the day. I don't know. Maybe they kidnapped kids and he was never caught for that, or he helped him kidnap kids. I'm not really sure. I don't think he's doing it anymore, and maybe he feels really guilty about it. Maybe he wasn't abusing them, but he was helping Doug, or maybe there's more people like Doug who work together in some way. I'm not sure, but I don't know why he had those mittens and why he would, take them out and look at them. I'm not really sure. I just know there's something big with him, and I'm excited to find out what that something is. So Taryn says, before this episode, I really didn't like Willa, but sort of felt bad for her in this episode. Willa has definitely annoyed me a ton, but through the whole series. But what made me happy in this episode was that she finally realized that, hey, Ben trying to pretend to be Adam really isn't a good idea. And she told him, hey, this is not going to work. Let me give you some money. You can start a new life, and I wish you the best. And it made me happy that she wasn't the one pushing him to pretend to be her brother. Then he kind of, flipped the script and he decided, hey, I'm going to be Adam, and he showed up at the house. She didn't, ask him to do that. Hi, Court. Thank you so much for being here. It's so glad to see you tonight. But I definitely think that Willa is still shady. I can't love her, but I am glad that she was smart enough to be like, this is not going to work. This isn't cool. You can't pretend to be my brother. So Vanessa says that on Rotten Tomatoes, 89% of people like the show, which is really good. And I haven't really looked a lot to see what the ratings are, but I'm hoping so much that it's popular, because especially if we're going to get a cliffhanger ending for this season, if it were canceled, we would absolutely never, ever know what was supposed to happen. And I think that would drive a lot of us crazy. Marge says, Willa's crazy. Can't even imagine how the thought of replacing her brother crossed her mind. Yes, but I will say this. I don't like her, but when you kind of saw with her having the flashbacks, and she was actually having kind of daydreams, thinking about what it would have been like if they found Adam that night. It was just, he got lost, but no one took him, and seeing him go to prom and just being a part of their family. I think that she probably has some, issues because of her brother being kidnapped, and that would affect anybody if it happened to you guys. I mean, you would go years, wondering, first of all, is he alive? Is he ever going to come back? And then thinking that he was dead, and then, learning, oh my gosh, he actually was alive until just a week ago. I think that would really mess people up. But I'm not saying that that's an excuse for her to do stupid things. But I say I'll give her a little bit, of a break, just because I don't know what it's like to have a family member kidnapped and then murdered. Because I still consider him being murdered, even if he died because he was sick, because obviously Doug wasn't going to help him, and he put him in a situation where he could get sick and die. Vanessa thinks if The Family gets canceled, it should be on Netflix or Hulu, which, that could happen. One of the shows that I used to watch, The Killing, was canceled and Netflix picked it up. I didn't watch it because it got really bad and it made sense to me why it was canceled. But sometimes there have been shows in the past that I loved that were canceled and nobody picked them up, and it was just like, what? And I never knew what happened, and it drove me crazy. Brittany says she was awful. Willow was awful when she just left him. I like that she didn't push him to be Adam anymore, but that was terrible. Yeah, I did feel really bad too when she kind of just left him on the road and she was like, here you go, here's some money, good luck. What's he gonna do? Because he literally knows no one and he's been living underground for 10 years. So yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what there is out there about him that we don't know, because we don't know everything about him, and I think that's going to be interesting. Do you guys have any guesses about the cliffhanger? How they're going to leave us with a big question. Of course, we still have 5 episodes left, so it'll be next month when the show ends for season 1. So we have a while and things could happen, and it may be kind of hard to predict what's going to happen in the finale like this early on. So Laura says that Brittany, she's talking to Brittany on here, saying that also felt bad for Ben. He didn't have anywhere to go. I do feel bad. Mark is saying, what if Adam didn't die? He escaped and lived with Ben's family. Now Ben is living with Adam's family. That would be all sorts of crazy. That would be cool because I really wanted Adam to be alive, but I guess where Dennis Ban said in the interview that he is for sure dead, I don't think this is the type of show like Pretty Little Liars where people lie in interviews just to get, hype built up or whatever. I really think that she's telling the truth and that sadly he's actually dead. And what's kind of sad about that too is like we literally met him as a teen for just a few minutes, but we may see him again in flashbacks, see that character. So but I hate that. Like I hate that so much because I definitely thought after watching last night's episode that he was still alive, and I was really looking forward to how that would play out. And I was just thinking, like at the end of this series, maybe he would reunite with his family or something. I don't know. That's what I was hoping for. Marge says about that last scene with the money, as we saw him, he had the money in the light fixture thing, light switch plate thing in the motel. It was after his coming home from the hospital, right? He maybe realized that Claire knew he wasn't her son, so he's trying to escape. Yeah, it might not be a bad thing. He's thinking, I've got this money hidden away. If they freak out when I go home and they're like, you're not really Adam, you have to leave. He's got a backup plan. He's got that money. He's going to hide it so nobody can take it, or like a maid wouldn't take it or something. So he can, have like a little security there if these people kick him out. I love the ending. Terrence is bringing that up about Claire. Now, I actually felt like she was going to accept him at that point. But Terrence thought that she was going to completely freak out on Ben in the kitchen, which she totally could have done. She could have yelled at him. She could have been like, you're not my son. Why are you pretending to be my son? But she hugged him and she was like, welcome home. Or maybe she said, welcome home, Adam. I'm not really sure. But she accepted him. Now, I think this is really creepy, and I'm not really sure why she's doing that. I don't know if it's for the election. I don't know if it's because she really wants him to be Adam. I don't know. It's very heartbreaking, I think, to have her realize that that's not her son, to hear that he recently died after all these years when they thought he died a long time ago. I have no idea how someone would deal with that type of news and then try to deal with a stranger in your home who's definitely not your son. Is she going to keep calling him Adam and pretending he's Adam when she knows? Of course, the dad and brother do not know that he is not Adam. So when will they find out? I don't know. I think it's weird. And personally, I don't think I could be able to accept this person. I definitely appreciate that they wanted to tell me about Adam and everything, and that they were a good friend to him. But I don't think I would be cool with acting like he was my brother, because he just isn't. And that's just really weird. And I don't even know why he wants to keep pretending. So that's some stuff that I think will be interesting to see what the show does with that, because, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah, but I'm still loving it so much. And I'm just really excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what the Hank stuff is. What's the big deal with him? I think that's going to be something really cool and really epic, and I'm excited for that. So Mark says it all makes sense. why Willa kept going to the church. I thought it was because she believed she was sinning by being gay, but it was actually because of the situation with Ben. That makes complete sense. She had a lot of guilt because, she was, I mean, I think she was doing something wrong. I really do. I don't know. I feel like obviously she's a person who has had a very traumatic life after her brother was kidnapped, but you know what? She was torn because I do feel like somewhere in her heart she thought her family could be normal again if everyone believed that that was her brother. I do. As much as I have disliked her, I kind of saw a new side of her in this episode, and I felt like I really think she thought, but kind of in a messed up way, that like if he would just come back and people really think it's Adam, we're all going to be happy again. I also think that she thought her dad and mom would not get divorced if Adam came back. So yeah, I don't think it was all about her mom being elected governor. Okay. So Brittany says if Ben really didn't have a family, then she would probably adopt him or something because he's had a difficult life too. Maybe even worse than Adam. Yes, and here's the thing. I am fine with that. But I'm not cool with them pretending he's Adam, with him pretending to be Adam. I feel like, and maybe this will happen in the next episode, the entire family sits down and everyone realizes this is Ben and he was a great friend to Adam. And I know he's probably 16, 17. So he'll be like an adult and can do whatever he wants pretty soon. But they could just give him that option, like, we would love to have you as part of our family. We'll treat you like our son, but you're going to go by the name Ben. And I really feel like they should tell the public that this kid wanted to connect with the family, pretended to be our son. It's, we don't want you to think bad of him, but he was a great friend to our son, and he is going to be like our son now, but he is Ben and not Adam. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Does that make sense? I think that's a really good point, Brittany, though. I think that it's really, I think it would be awesome if they accepted him into their family as their son. But if they keep on living this lie of him being Adam, that's just weird. Right now, I'm freaked out, but I'll forgive them. But if they keep going another episode where they're calling him Adam and he's calling himself Adam, I'm going to start thinking that the family has got some massive issues because I just don't think that's cool. I was thinking that that Adam was supposed to be younger than 18 because I think they said, maybe not though, I think he was 8 when he was kidnapped. Does anybody remember that? So maybe he's supposed to be 18. Now, Ben honestly looked older than Adam, so there's a possibility that I don't think they're going to make him in his 20s, but I could be wrong. So I'm thinking maybe he is like 19. Marge says if Ben immediately came clean with the Warrens, it could have turned out great for him. They would have taken care of him because he knew Adam, and Willa messed it up. I agree completely. And that's very wrong of her because it wasn't his idea. It was her idea that he pretend to be Adam. But I think definitely that they probably would have taken him in, treated him great. And, in a way, he would kind of be sort of like Adam for them. And he's never going to replace Adam, but he would be their son. I really think it would be a great situation. So it's a problem that she was trying to be deceitful. They definitely can't hide this secret forever, Vanessa. And honestly, the longer it goes on with him pretending to be Adam and them pretending he's Adam, the reporter in this story is definitely going to get to the bottom of it and expose this because she already knows something's not right. She already saw the DNA stuff and she's probably not believing Willa. So it's probably going to destroy Claire's chances of being governor. Whereas right now, if they come out and say, this was Adam's friend and we've accepted him as part of our family, then I don't think anyone would have an issue. And if they were going to vote for her, they still might. And maybe new people would vote for her because they would be like, she's a really compassionate person, taking in this stranger and, helping him have a home because he doesn't have anyone. So that's what I think. So Brittany says they said that Adam was 8 when he was taken, but they said he was 19. I'm really confused, but here's the thing. Probably what they would say to explain that is that he was 8, but his birthday was coming up or whatever. So 10 years later, maybe he was supposed to be 9 in a couple of months or a couple of weeks when he was abducted. So, yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, that's kind of weird too. But if you have been living underground forever, I mean, at 19, you're able to live on your own. But of course, Ben doesn't know anyone. Who knows like what he learned. He didn't have school, he doesn't have like the social skills that he should have. So he probably is more like acts like a younger person than he actually is because he was down in a hole forever, you know? So I think he would probably definitely be someone who would benefit from living with other people for a while. He doesn't need to like go out on his own and live alone. That's kind of what I think. But yeah, these are some great points that you guys are bringing up. And that's what I love about this show because it's just so in depth and there's just so many interesting things going on in every episode, you know, even more than just what is on the surface. So Mark says that he likes that every episode, the story completely changes. We won't know what the finale is about until we actually see it. And I agree with you. Unlike Pretty Little Liars, which literally spoils the reveals we should get in promos. Absolutely. And that drives me crazy. You know, and I know some of you guys also watch PLL, and this show is just so much better and so much different than PLL. And so are all these. I mean, I'm just so glad because really, I mean, I've always loved TV shows, but I kind of started doing these reviews on YouTube. I definitely started with Pretty Little Liars. And it's a very frustrating show. If you guys watch it, you know. So it's so refreshing to me that I have been able to move on to these shows that actually have substance and actually are great shows with wonderful stories and great acting. And it makes me so happy that some of you are, you know, have come with me on this journey to other shows. And it makes, you know, I mean, after a while, you can only talk about Pretty Little Liars so much because literally no one knows what's going to happen in that show. But this show has so much substance and so much that we can chat about. So Brittany says, I think that someone might be killed or something. Jenna Bands, the show's creator, said that the subject of season 2 would be very obvious after the finale. So I think that would make sense. Yes. Well, I'm wondering about Doug. Now, I'm wondering what's going to happen with him. Is he going to get arrested in this season? Is he going to get murdered? As you know, Ben wants him dead. So I could see Ben killing Doug, which would be awesome. But that's not really a cliffhanger. There could be a cliffhanger as to is he dead or not? But I mean, the cliffhanger they were saying, I think it was one of the EPs, said that it was going to be a big question. So I don't know. We'll see. Ryan thought this episode was amazing and twisted and sad and scary all wrapped together. I agree. To me, the very, very, very best part of it was seeing Ben and Adam together. It was heartbreaking. And the scene where Ben was trying to escape Doug and was actually able to, that killed me. I felt like that was so amazing. And the person who I don't know if it was produced or wrote this episode, I can't remember what they said on Twitter, but he did the finale. So if you like this episode, I think you're going to love the finale because it's the same person. I've never watched Secrets and Lies, but I think you might have sent that to me and it looked good. And I apologize because I have gotten a lot of suggestions lately about shows. And I do want to watch some of these new shows. And I just really have been busy with other things. So I haven't really gotten to them and I'm sorry. And it's not that I'm ignoring anybody who has a suggestion. I'm really sorry. Mark says, I can't wait for Doug to be stopped. I hope he will be arrested and not killed. I want him to answer for his crimes. Definitely, because he should be, you know, he needs to pay for what he's done, and it's probably more than what we know. I refuse to believe that Ben and Adam are his only victims. You know, he's out there looking for someone new right now, and we may see that happen this season. He may get that new victim. I can't stand that man. I can't stand how he's fooled his wife into thinking he's like this amazing person. It scares me completely that he has a child on the way, because what is he going to do to that child? Is he going to abuse this child? I mean, it could be a girl, but he could be someone who would abuse a girl as well. Mark says, what if the cliffhanger is that the entire town knows that it's not really Adam? Then they find that Ben has either run away or committed suicide from the pressure, or maybe Willa. Yeah, that would be super interesting. I could also see it be tied into Hank in some way, or I don't know. I mean, really, like I said, with 5 episodes left, it's hard to know because literally something completely crazy could happen next week or the next week, and then that could lead us into the finale. Brittany said, Jenna said that an interview with Hank would help a lot in catching Doug. An interview with Hank would help a lot in catching Doug. So they do catch him, but we just don't know what his connection is and how they get him. Thank you so much. So we do know that. And look, that is so cool, because why would Hank help them find Doug? So that gives you a clue that something big is going on with Hank that we don't know about yet. Ryan says this episode was amazing. I think I read that comment, but I agree. It's worth saying again. Marge feels so sorry for Doug's wife. I really do. A couple of you guys have asked me Do I think she's in on it with him? And I don't think that she's pretending. I really think she thinks she's got a good husband. I think she's completely in the dark. However, I do feel like she's a little skeptical of him because we saw her go into that like storage unit and she didn't really believe him when he wanted her to stay out. So she could possibly find something she's not supposed to find. He's so insane. I think that he would murder his wife in a heartbeat, even though she's pregnant. I don't think he would care. Vanessa hopes that she finds out and divorces him. I mean, I hope she finds out and tells the police and, I hope, but I don't know. I'm worried for her. Where she's not a big character, I could definitely see her being eliminated from the show. Terrence wants to know if I think Doug will be the real or the villain of this season, the real villain. Well, that's a good question. Because that's something I found interesting about this show is that pretty early into the show, they let us know who the villain was. Most shows, you never know, like you do know eventually, but that's the big mystery. So is he working with someone? Could he have been working with Hank in the past? Is he still working with Hank? Is he working with someone we don't know? Is he working with someone we do know? Yeah, that's a great question. And it would be such a good twist to find someone else doing kind of the same thing or someone working with him. I really like how you're thinking there, Terrence. Marge, I like your comment, but yes, it'd be awesome even if, I don't know, I kind of want to see someone murder Doug just because I can't stand him so much. But again, if he's in jail, I don't know though. I mean, I feel like he might, where he's a child abuser, most of the time people are not treated nicely in jail, at least in the US, if you are a convicted child abuser or molester. So he probably should go to prison. So Brittany says he was planning to get someone else before Ben ran away. Absolutely. So there's definitely someone else he's been looking for. And it's, we know he's not using the same area where he kept Ben and Adam, but I've always thought there's a good chance there's other places. He could have had other people. Maybe not, but who knows? Definitely he wants to put someone right by his house so it's easier for him. That's also like a real threat, because it'd be just so easy for someone to find. And I think that shows his level of confidence in committing crimes because he thinks he's so amazing at kidnapping kids and keeping them for years that he can do it literally right under his wife's nose and his neighbors' noses, like right out there in the open pretty much. So Laura thinks it would be cool if Doug's wife found out and turned him in. Yes, but I think it would be super cool if she stabbed him or something, honestly. Brittany feels so bad for Doug's wife. She's going to be so broken when she finds out about her husband. Absolutely. I feel absolutely awful for her. Mark says the big mystery of the show is how Doug got out of that lair without the ladder. That's what I was so happy when Ben pulled up that ladder thing so that it would make it really hard for Doug to escape, but I just had the best thought ever. So here's the thing. Let's just say he's down there with his cell phone and he is working with someone. Maybe he was working with Hank, so Hank could come and, just drop that ladder down for him. What do you guys think about that? I think you're really onto something, and I know that you might not have thought about it that way, Mark, but I think that's a clue. Because seriously, there is no way he could have gotten out of there the way that it was with no ladder, because those boys would have escaped a long time ago. So how did he get out? If he had a phone, he could have called someone for help, right? I think that's brilliant. I think that's going to be something that we will see. Oh yes, the actor who plays Doug is on Shades of Blue, and I haven't watched that show. That's something that I've been meaning to watch. Vanessa's pointing out, but I was looking at his IMDb and I saw that he's also in Shades of Blue. Hopefully he's a nice guy on there because he's the worst guy ever on this show. So Brittany says he would do poorly in jail. He might even get killed in jail. True. So if he's caught, bad things will happen no matter what. Absolutely believe that. So Brittany has a good point that Hank was probably still in jail at that point. He definitely would have to be. You're absolutely right, because he was only let out of jail when they knew that Adam had returned. So it can't be Hank who helped him, but somebody had to help him, don't you think? Which means there's another villain. And is the villain someone we know? Which is tough because there's not very many characters in this show. I mean, I guess it could be a woman. That would be far out, but who knows? So Mark says, well, maybe in the finale, the cliffhanger will be a flashback to that scene and with someone like Hank or Nina dropping down the ladder. Yeah. So, I mean, that could be a huge twist. And you know how these types of shows go? It's like the very least likely person is involved. That's giving me chills just talking to you guys about it. So I don't know. And I would have to look at a list of the characters because let's be real, there's not that many characters here. And I don't think it's going to be his wife. I really don't think she's the one who helped him. I mean, if she did, that's going to freaking shock me. Do you think it could be his wife? I don't know. That's creepy. I mean, I just had a thought that maybe she's pretending. I don't know. The bakery woman could be. It's got to be someone we know. I don't see, if it's someone that is working with him, I don't see them having it a random person because who cares, you know? Apparently Doug, or the actor who plays Doug, plays a very different character on Shades of Blue. So thankfully he's not like a child abuser. I would be really annoyed if it was his wife, but you know, who else could it be? I mean, if it ended up being Nina, that would be completely crazy. I don't think it would be, Adam's dad, like surely not. I don't think it's going to be his brother. Don't think it could be the reporter. What do you guys think? Is there anyone who you think could be working with Doug that we know, like that we've met, that we know? I don't think it's going to be random relatives or random people that we've never met, because why, you know? But I just think that that is such a huge clue that probably no one picked up on. That there's no way that, and I actually had a thought about it when I was watching it last night. I was like, wait, how did he get out of there? And then the thought just like left and I never thought about it again. But how did he get out of there? If it is the FBI agent, I will lose my faith in humanity because she has, I mean, I thought she wanted to, I mean, I don't know. That would make me so angry. Marge still thinks the dad is shady. And I know like when this show started, many people thought he abducted his son or killed his son or something. You know, I don't think that's the case, but man, I don't know. I really hope his dad is not involved because that's disgusting. I mean, not obviously he wasn't abusing him, but the fact that he knew that that was going on for all those years would just break my heart if he was involved. Oh my gosh. Hoping the FBI agent isn't involved. Yeah, I hope not. I mean, I don't know. But I think that that is just something that we all need to think about. And if you guys think more about it, if you think of who it could be, you could totally tweet me or comment later because now I'm going to be thinking about that forever. Maybe there was another entrance to the bunker we didn't know about. That's a good point, Laura. Now we know that they were both trying to kind of dig their way out and that was a dead end. So it's not that, but there may be a special way. But I feel like there wouldn't be just because he was so worried that they would escape. So after being down there for literally, 10 years and maybe Ben was there longer, I don't think that he would have another way to get out because you would spend so much time down there, you would find it. You would be looking every day at some point. So I don't know. So Vanessa thinks it could be Nina's partner who is working with Doug. I don't know, possibly. I mean, all of this is crazy. And that's that's a very minor character, but it is still someone we know. So interesting. So anyway, but you guys have any more questions or comments? We'll wrap it up here in just a little bit, but I'm just so glad that you guys are watching, and tell your friends and family to watch because I want this show to get renewed. It's just really, really good. If you're watching me for the first time and you haven't subscribed, or maybe you've watched a couple of times and haven't subscribed, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. Oh, I wanted to mention to you guys that I'm very much considering doing videos and chats on Orphan Black. Now, Orphan Black has been on for quite a while, and actually don't even know what season this is, but it returns Thursday. I think 10 o'clock Thursdays in the US. So I've always loved this show. It is very complex. If you've never watched it, it will probably take you a while to catch up, but I'm not sure how many of you guys watch the show and would be interested in coming to the chats and stuff, but hopefully it'll be like more than 10, because if there's less than 10 people who would come to the chats, it's kind of like, well, I don't know. Thank you, Vanessa. So it's season 4. The lead actress, Tatiana Maslany, is freaking amazing. So if you're looking for a new show and you have some time to invest in binge watching, I really suggest it, but there are very many episodes. Like, I feel like their seasons are kind of long. So you do, I don't think you could catch up by Thursday, but, if you're interested, I'm just throwing that out there. That's a good show. So I asked on Twitter and like 5 people showed some interest. So I'll ask again. But what we may do is just have the first chat this Friday, and it would be Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. See how many people come. If there's not a lot of people, we may not keep doing it, but if there is a good turnout, we will. Yeah, and Orphan Black is on Netflix, actually. So Mark says, what about in episode 3 when Nina shot the man who kidnapped a child? It could be foreshadowing to her shooting Doug in the finale. Right, so she like straight up murdered this guy who she thought was kidnapping that kid, and it was actually like a family dispute. So yeah, I mean, she could be the one shooting Doug. I think that's a really good point. Erica loves Orphan Black. It's really good because Tatiana plays so many different characters, and it seems like with each season there's another person she's playing, and there's going to be another person she's playing, because I saw the sneak peek last night for this season, and she's so mega talented. I don't know why everyone doesn't just rave about her all day long, because this girl is everything. Like, she's just, I don't know how she does it. So anyway, so, you know, if you are on Twitter, I'm Kelly_TV there. So if you want to let me know you're interested in Orphan Black, do that. And also that's where I can let you know, or I always let you know what's going on with videos and live chats and shows and all that stuff. So yes, I watched the sneak peek for Scream. If you didn't know, I'm doing Scream Season 2 MTV, which returns May 30th. So I'm so excited for that, and that looks good. And there's a new killer, and I'm really excited. So yes. Yeah, I'm really excited for Scream. So excited because I loved season 1. So I guess we're going to wrap it up for now. But if you think of any new theories or have any questions for me, this video will be up on my channel in about 5 minutes. And then my video with more in-depth thoughts about this episode will be up tomorrow. Marge, Scream is wonderful. It's like a mystery show about who is a serial killer, and it deals with high school kids, and it's great. I binge watched the first season. It's very short, maybe like 10 minutes or 10 episodes, not 10 minutes, but like 10 episodes or something. I watched them all in a week or less than a week. I love it, like love it. It's one of my fave shows ever. So I have very high hopes for season 2. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight, and I will see you tomorrow with my new video. And follow me on Twitter to find out more information about Orphan Black season 4. So bye guys.